Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakwakadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work, and truth and sincerity. And we're going to jump right into the lesson. This is Psalms 137, start at verse 1. It says, By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept, we remembered Zion. So this is speaking of Babylon, or the land of confusion, and this is the place of our weeping. This is the place of our sorrow. This is the place of what's the word? Our troubles, man. And it was prophesied that we would have sorrows, that we would have troubles in a land of captivity, and that's one of the identifiers that we use to declare ourselves as the true Israelites of the Bible. So we are right now in a place of weeping, in a place of sorrow, in a place of troubles here in America. America is a new Babylon, and if you read the scriptures, it speaks about that. When you read down, it's going to speak about that. It says, "We hanged our harps upon the willows, on the midst thereof, for there they carried us away captive, required of us a song." And if you look at that word "song," it has two meanings. It says saying, utterance, words. It says business, occupation, acts, matter, something matter. So they required of us an occupation. They required us work, and they wasted us. And they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, "Sing one of the songs of Zion." So this is where we're required to work, and also the so-called white man, he uses Jake, so-called black Latino Native American, as amusement, as mirth, as entertainment. There's a lot of so-called black Latinos or Native Americans in the entertainment field, in the entertainment business. They are amused of us because of our flavor. They are entertained by us because of our flavor. They enjoy our foods. They enjoy our music. They enjoy our athleticism. They enjoy our culture and the beauty of our cultures and the difference of our cultures. It's all entertainment for them. So they require to us mirth. It says, "How should we?" And then verse 5 says, "How should we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?" And so once again, it's emphasizing the captivity in a strange or foreign land. If you get that footnote, I believe it says foreign. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But anyways, it means foreign, yeah. And we're gonna jump down to verse 7. It says, "Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, Raise it, even the foundation thereof." So the children of Edom, they are desired the destruction. That's what that word "raise" means. See if we could put this again. Make it bare, or to destroy it, to bear it, to lay empty, to make naked, to get bare, to be poured out, exposed, to make exposed, pouring out, so to bear, to make empty. So their desire to basically erase us, man, to destroy us, to make us empty, even to the very foundation thereof. And that's why the so-called white man has done his best to hide his truths from the Israelites, the true men of the Lord, the true sons of the power, man. And it says, "O daughter of Babylon." Now it does there's a difference here. From the rivers of Babylon, it speaks of Babylon here, and then it speaks of the daughter of Babylon. And the daughter of Babylon is America. The daughter of the Babylonian system is America. This is where Babylon set herself up basically as a daughter of Babylon, if you can receive it. And it speaks of the daughter of Babylon that it's going to be destroyed. So this is a heavy psalm, man, when you really get into it. It says, "O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall she be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy how shall she be that taketh and dasheth one the little one against the stones. So you're never going to hear this psalm in Christianity. You're never going to hear them bring out this psalm. You're never going to hear them bring out these scriptures because it speaks a great deal of truth. It speaks of the Lord destroying the place of our captivity. It speaks of our captivity being a place of sorrow and weeping, a place of work, a place where we are looked as amusement. Basically it describes America. And ultimately it speaks of how the Lord's not going to forget us in that day. He's not going to forget that we are his chosen people, and we will be saved from Babylon. Let's get Lamentations 3:31. This is Lamentations 3:31. It says, "For the Lord will not cast off forever, but though he cause grief, yet will have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies." And we just read in the Psalms how this is the place where we wept. This is the place where we will cause grief. It says, "Yet we will have compassion according to the multitude's mercy," and ultimately this is the place we will have the ultimate mercy. The elect being saved, from the ICBM to the destruction of America. It says, "For he does not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men, to crush under his feet all the princes of the earth, to turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High, to avert a man his cause, the Lord approves not." Just going into what it says here, the point was in verse 31. "For the Lord will cast not out forever." Let's get that in the NLT. It says, "For no one is abandoned by the Lord forever. Though he bring grief, he also shows compassion because of the greatness of his unfailing love." Because ultimately, when it comes down to it, Jacob has he loved and Esau has he hated. "For he does not enjoy hurting people or cause sorrow. If people crush under foot all the princes of the land, they deprive others of their rights, and they find the Messiah. If they twist justice in the court, doesn't the Lord see all these things?" And this is where all these things happen, man. He sees what's going on in America. He sees the deprivation of rights. He sees a defiance of the Most High, of himself. He sees the twisting of justice in the courts. The Lord sees all these things, man. But the Lord sees all the things that the white man has put in privilege for himself, and this advantage that he put on his children, the nation of Israel. So you got to understand that the scriptures speak about America, but they speak about it in code. There's many Psalms, scriptures that very intricately and precisely describe the condition of America. And Psalms, as we got it, and Psalms 137th chapter is one of those. Is one of those scriptures, or a set of those scriptures. So America, yes, America is in the Bible. It goes by the name of Babylon. It goes by the name of Sodom. It goes by the name of Rome. It goes by the name of Egypt. You got what people don't understand is that the scriptures is a very parabolic. It talks about dark mysteries and dark sayings. So there's it's a book of like I always say, it's supernatural. It's a book of mystery. It's a book of deep uh symbolism. There's deep symbolism in the Bible, and that's just the cunning of the Lord, man. That's just the way the Lord is. That's the way He does things. He does things with the ultimate flavor, man. Was ultimate beauty. Was ultimate prose. Ultimate poetry. That's how the Bible is written. Very symbolic. Very parabolic. Very mysterious. And the elect are gonna understand that and to see that through the Spirit. I always like to bring up the fact that brothers have a spiritual set of eyes to see things that the average person doesn't see, whether it be just things in your daily life that have that have people can come up to you and say weird things to you, and out of nowhere. That happened to me, several times, where people come out to you and they just you don't even know them, and they just speak some kind of a mysterious set phrase to you, but you know what it is, and you wonder like, well, like it's something that the average person doesn't say to somebody else, but you'll experience things like that. You'll experience an acknowledgement of people, noticing something about you, man. That there's a special spirit on the elect, or there's a special. We don't know if we're the elect, but there's a special spirit on the elect. Yes, that's true. But there's a special spirit on a man of the Lord, the one that does His work, and one that does His will. Whether we are the elect or not, we're not gonna find out till the time comes. We just hoping to be the elect. We say we're the hopeful elect. We're hoping to be the elect. We are doing the things that the elect would be doing in the last days, which is following our Lord and preaching this word. These are all things to consider, man. When you deal with brothers, would you go throughout your daily walk, and how you live your life in general. Understanding always that you are of the Lord's people, and you have been given the moral law. You've been given righteousness and holiness to seek after, to separate yourself from the rest of the people. That's what people acknowledge from you. That's what people see that's different about you. They call it walking to a beat of a different drummer, and that's basically the new song. The new song is something that's never been spoken upon the earth, and that song is the song that we're singing. The doctrine that we're bringing is a new song, because the Bible has never been preached the way it's preached. Especially from through the doctrine of Great Millstone. That's just what it is. Brothers get together and they do these beautiful lessons, beautiful sit downs, and for the most part, that's all through the Spirit. That's just brothers are like, okay, what do you want to get into? Let's and a brother might bring up a topic, or might have a conversation before the camera starts rolling. That turn into a lesson. Or a brother might bring up, you might say something that turn into a lesson. And when that happens, then that's when you know that basically it's the Spirit that's bringing all this out. These are not our words. It's the Spirit that brings, and then brothers bring out that lesson, and scriptures come to mind, and brothers bring in precepts, and that's how it unfolds. It unfolds to a very spiritual conversation. This is the place of our weeping. This is the place of our captivity, and ultimately, it's the place of our mercy. And this is the place where we will preach and teach the Bible for the seed and the elect, for the bringing forth of righteousness upon the earth through Yahushua. But with that being said, just a real quick lesson. Most I would hope is edifying. I said I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.